Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the road trip cheat codes that I came up with on my drive to Chicago recently. I just did a drive from Las Vegas to Chicago, and it's probably about I've driven across the country like 10 to 15 times, and I've driven across more than anyone else I know, and I feel like I have a ton of tips and tricks for you guys. So if you guys are going on a road trip soon, or you just want to take up some tips and advice, make sure you smash the like button for me, because we got a lot of info for you guys today. I'm going to go over it pretty quick and keep this video as short as possible. So the first one is never go to the first gas station, because that first gas station is almost always the most expensive. If they're basically going off of, like, if you're like super convenient, you're right off the road, you can charge basically like way more, because people are desperate. They're just getting off, and a lot of people just need gas, you know. But if you just drive that extra quarter mile, half mile, whatever it is, to the second gas station, it's generally always a little bit cheaper, because they get a little bit less customers. So their best way of getting customers is by having slightly cheaper gas prices. But that's the first one. That is the first biggest tip, especially right now. Gas prices are so high. And the second one is very important also. I would say for saving money, this one's the most important actually. Always stop in major cities to fill up. Especially try to always stay over half a tank if you can, because you never know when there's going to be like an 80-mile gap where there is no gas stations, and you will see that in the middle, like all over the country. There's just random gaps where there's like 80 miles where you don't have any gas stations. And if you pass and you're at quarter tank, you're gonna be like, oh crap, I should have filled up. Not good. So always try to stop in the major cities if you possibly can to fill up, because major cities have more competition with the gas stations, so that way they have to kind of keep each other accountable for their gas prices. They can't just overcharge, because if you get gas in the middle of nowhere, man, you are going to get annihilated with those gas prices. Those things can be so insanely high in the middle of nowhere. Why? Because if your people are desperate for gas, they can charge whatever they want. You don't have a choice. You have to pay for gas, right? So those places in the middle of nowhere generally have higher gas prices. Number 3, we have so many tips, I'm not even going to number these. Number 3 is for your diet and fitness and health, because staying awake is very important, and trying to avoid carbohydrates when you're driving is very important to me, you know. 1, because I like to keep my 6-pack. 2, because it helps keep me awake for longer. When you know how you feel after you eat like a sandwich or like a bunch of french fries or something, you get super tired, right? You don't want your energy levels to be up and down when you're driving. If you can avoid carbohydrates, to me this is one of the biggest things, and this is how I stay awake for so long. When people ask me like, how do you drive like 16 hours a day? And it's like, for 1, I'm eating really healthy when I'm doing road trips generally, and 2, I'm not eating any carbohydrates. I just drink like the black coffees, like those little cans, nitro cans and stuff. That's usually what I do. I try to avoid any sugar and any carbohydrates. It helps keep you awake, and the worst thing you could do is fall asleep while you're driving. Number 4, be careful driving through cities in the middle of nowhere. Those cops, that's like the only thing they do all day long, is they just plant themselves in little sneaky places, and it's those middle of town or middle of nowhere cities that are going to get you for these speeding tickets, you know. Especially if you're out of state, you're not going to get any sympathy. They're trying to get as much money as they possibly can for their cities. So use that cruise control if you possibly can, because cruise control, there's nothing like just driving, you see a cop and you look down and you're like, oh my god, I'm going 90. Like, just master the cruise control, because especially like slow and steady wins the race, you know. There's nothing worse than getting a speeding ticket. Going that extra 10, 15 miles an hour is not worth it, especially in the middle of nowhere. They will get you for 10 miles an hour over, no problem, every single time. Slow and steady wins the race. Or my new favorite saying is, slow is steady and steady is fast. Let's see, what else do we have here? Make up time at gas stops, not on the road speeding. That's just another one, kind of the same exact thing. If you can, just try to make your gas stops as convenient as possible. Get out, start filling up the car. If you need to go to the bathroom, go do it while your car is filling up. That's the time that you need to make up. Like, that's the place where you can make up time, not on the road, because that speeding, if you get pulled over once, that's what, 20 minutes that you fall behind, not to mention a bunch of money that you're going to lose. It's very important to just try to just be as efficient at the gas stations as possible. If you're late for something, that's where to make up the time. Leave early so you're not in a rush. There's nothing like being in a rush on a road trip. Like, it is the worst thing ever. So I always leave a day early, because you never know when something's gonna go wrong. You don't want to be rushed. Like, it's so much better if you can just cruise. Like, I was going like, I had to go like 60 miles an hour the entire way to Chicago, basically because I was towing like a 7,000 pound trailer. It was super heavy, and it was just really easy when you're not in a rush, you're not speeding, and you can take your time. You know, if you have a whole extra day to spare, it's much better than trying to rush, you know. The next one is for people who are sleeping in their cars, because that's what I do. One, I always leave half of my car open, right? You want to keep at least a long space in your car open. I always sleep in my car because I'm usually towing a trailer with a bunch of expensive circus equipment on the back of it, and I don't want to like leave it outside, so I sleep basically in my car every time I do a road trip. I always keep like a nice pad in my car. It basically has a bed. I'll use like a bunch of blankets or anything. You want to keep like a long space in your car open, so that way you don't have to be curled up. You know, it's horrible when you are all curled up, and like, especially if you just keep your back seat open and you can't really stretch out, your sleep is not going to be good, and you do not want to fall behind on sleep, especially if you're doing like a really long road trip. So another thing for safety especially is keep a pepper spray on you at least. I wouldn't recommend driving with a gun or anything because state laws are different in every single one. So for those people who are like super, I want to carry a gun everywhere, just be careful because you're going through different states, there's different laws. But you can carry a pepper spray wherever you go, and I would highly recommend it. I've come into some pretty sketchy situations. One time I thought it was a good idea to sleep at Walmart, because Walmart allows you to sleep in their parking lots. It's actually probably the worst idea, because Walmarts generally don't attract the greatest people. So no offense to those who are like avid Walmart shoppers, I don't know if that's a thing, but I just would not go to Walmarts if I was you guys. I would go to truck stops. The truckers kind of think of themselves as like it's like a tribe basically, right? And if you just feel much more protected. Those are also kind of in the middle of nowhere. You're not going to find like sketchy people in the middle of nowhere, because how would they really get there? If they're like a low life, they're not going to just be like driving in the middle of nowhere to go like break into cars. That's more like going to be in cities and stuff. So I would generally stay at truck stops. Truck stops are great, you know, if you can park between some trucks or something. It's much better than waking up in a Walmart parking lot. I made that mistake once, not going to ever do it again. Let's see, what else do we have? Blah, blah, blah. Go to grocery stores to buy items. This is kind of in the diet thing, but if you just have a bunch of snacks and everything that you buy at the grocery store right before you go, get your coffees, get your energy drinks or whatever you want, but go to the grocery store, save a bunch of money, because those gas stations will annihilate your wallet. Everything is so much more expensive at a gas station than it is at a grocery store. Next thing, keep everything separate, especially like your toiletries and stuff. I made this mistake. I put my toothbrush and everything in my toiletry bag. Big mistake. On the first day of the road trip, I had my cologne in my toothbrush in the same exact spot, and my toothbrush tasted like cologne, and it irritated the crap out of my gums in my mouth. So it was not a good start to the road trip. So, and I didn't even know. So try to just keep everything separate, especially like toiletries and stuff. Generally what I do is I pack them, like I'll pack like my backpack on one door, I'll pack like my spare clothes and toiletries and stuff on another door, so you just know where to go in the car. You know, try to keep everything organized, because there's nothing like having to like get in the back and like start throwing stuff around, and then your car's just screwed up for the rest of the entire road trip. The next thing is buy Audible. I would definitely get an Audible book for a road trip. I personally think that road trips are like the biggest secret to, like, it's the biggest life hack to learning, you know, because you're just in the middle of nowhere. It's just nice and calm doing a long distance road trip, and there's no better place to learn. Like, people are always like, dude, you're crazy, you're driving across the country again, I can't believe you. And I'm like, dude, I love driving across the country alone. I want to be alone every single time, because no one else wants to sit there and listen to freaking informational audiobooks with me. Or if you do, I've never really come to anyone that has wanted to sit there and listen to like Rich Dad Poor Dad with me or something, you know. The next thing, and plus, let me just add this in there, Audible books, they are downloaded to your phone. On road trips, you're going to lose service a lot, so try to download things onto your phone and have something for that way. When there's no service, you're not going to be able to listen to your YouTube music or whatever it is, Spotify. Drink a ton of water, stretch. Those things are very important. Drinking a ton of water, staying hydrated. I know it means you're going to pee a lot, but just drinking a lot of water is going to make everything a lot better. Like, your body goes to shit when you're sitting in your car for a really long period of time. It's a lot of stress on your body. So try to just stay healthy. Stretch as much as you can. Every single gas station. You don't want to be all cramped up, especially if you have a multiple day road trip. Stretching is crucial. I go to the gym in like every major city as I'm going across the country, because I just like, especially after day one of sitting in the car, your body is going to be all screwed up. But not if you go and work out at every city that you possibly can and just stretch at every gas station. Just keep your body limber. Wear the comfiest clothes. I had this roommate who would wear suits on road trips, and I was like, why? Why would you do that? That suit is so uncomfortable. I doubt anyone else that's watching this video is wearing suits on road trips, but just wear the most comfy clothes that you have. I always wear like the athletic shirts. I forget what I think it's polyester is the material, but like gym shirts and stuff are great because your back is usually going to get sweaty, and cotton kind of like absorbs all the moisture, so it's not good to wear like a cotton shirt, in my opinion. I would wear like gym clothes basically. Let's see, carry cash, because toll roads and stuff in the middle of nowhere, they will get you a lot of places. Their credit cards machines will be down in the middle of nowhere. Generally in the middle of nowhere, gas stations don't keep up with their machines and stuff, so it's always good to have cash on you. And just for those surprise toll roads and random things, always carry cash. Especially like, I got hit with like $60 worth of tolls in Chicago. Just as soon as I got into Illinois, it got crazy expensive, and I was counting on pennies for one of them. If you don't have enough cash, they're gonna hit you with a ticket. Let's see, got 2 or 3 more. Use a credit card for gas to avoid theft, for one. Like, you don't want, like, it's very easy for people to steal your bank account information at these like gas pumps and stuff. Try to use a credit card. I would recommend getting a gas credit card that rewards you for using a lot of gas. Get rewards, you know. There's nothing like going to book a hotel and you like look at your credit card account and you're like, oh, I get a free hotel, you know. Get those reward points. It's better than you just doing debit, and then it's easier to get your money back if you do deal with theft. And it happens to everyone. Couple more. If you are towing, overdo the ratchets. There's nothing worse than if you're like, this is for the few people that are going to be towing something on their road trips. Always use just a few extra ratchets than you think you need to, especially for towing circus equipment. 2 more. Get a car mount. This car mount that I have right here, it's called Car Mount. It's really good. I would highly suggest it. It's not a paid advertisement, but it's a really, really good one. It's just this little thing right here. Gotta love it. It helps so much, and you don't want to be like carrying your phone. Just stick it right there, good to go. Put a little magnet on the back of your phone. And the last one is tint your windows. 1, because you will get sunburned if it is hot, if you do not have tinted windows from sitting in your car. People get surprised. I've seen videos of truckers that just have like half their body is sunburnt and looks all like leathery skin. It's not good. 2, it's gonna keep your car cooler, especially in the summer. And 3, which I think is the most important, it's much safer, especially if you're sleeping in your car. You don't want everyone to just be able to look in and see you. Personally, I've always had double limo tint on all my windows, except for the front one, obviously. I know in like California, it's illegal. I would take that fix-it ticket, because I think you are so much safer having tinted windows, because 1, people are much less likely to break into a car that they can't see into. 2, people can't see you. It's like having like an extra layer of security in your car, in my opinion. Now, don't come back to me and get mad at me if you get a fix-it ticket, because it is possible. So maybe if you are worried about it, look up each state's regulations depending on what state you're in. But personally, I will take the fix-it ticket all day long for having tinted windows, and I've never gotten a fix-it ticket, so it is what it is. Anyways, that is all the tips that I got for you guys. I know it was kind of long, but hopefully you guys can get some information from it. If you guys enjoyed this video at all, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel and smash that like button one more time. Smash it, smash it, smash it. Don't unsmash it though. Anyways, thank you guys. We'll see you in the next one. If you guys enjoy my video, please support my footwear company. Go to offaxisathletics.com. That is my footwear company. We make shoes, awesome skate shoes and stuff. These ones are white, so they're a little hard to see. There we go. There we go. offaxisathletics.com. Use my discount code OFFAXISTANNER for 30% off. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.